Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. And one thing I thought I'd talk about is, I try to I don't expect people to follow the stuff that I come up with. I do weird stuff, and I don't expect people to follow. What I do is I try to, remember we talked about plant the seed of fear in different situations to get through stuff. Well, I'm trying to plant the seed, not of fear, but plant the seed of your imagination, so you will come up with things that will work for you in your life and your lifestyle and your personality. That's what I do. And one of the things that really did a lot for me, and I didn't really realize it, is I've been so busy living life, doing things, I never really did much in the way of sharing my knowledge. I was just out doing things all the time. And then when we moved down to Central America, I had more time. So I ended up, I had an office, and then I learned how to get on the internet, learned how to get an email address, and it just kind of snowballed. I started learning more and more about how the internet worked, and that's where I came up with a website. And then you can do your own website. Now this stuff takes a lot of time. Like I say, I was in Guatemala, and I had a lot of time. I don't speak Spanish, so I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't really do very much unless I got on the road and traveled. And even now, when I'm on the road traveling, I really don't get on the internet much. And but whenever I'm stuck someplace, then I'll be on the internet. And I say, in Guatemala, I'd be sitting there for maybe a month before I take off somewhere. And so I'll be working on it. So it takes some time. But anyway, you can get your own website. A lot of them, you need a name. I say, I got NoStressMike.com. So you got to get a name, and you get your, so somebody will host your name, and then you need to get somebody to host your website. And there's all different kinds of companies. I'll put my company down below here, and you can see that, and along with the blog and all these other information I'm going to give you. It'll be links down below. But my website costs me right at maybe $60-70 a year is what it costs. I maintain it. In other words, I update it and stuff like that. I've got a big website. I mean, it got lots of pages. It's really kind of overwhelming. But like I say, that's why the home page, I keep it updated. The rest of them, they're just information is what they are. So I don't update them very often. Especially now, I don't have that much time to get on the internet. So, but like I say, so you can do that with yourself. Start your own website, and that's really interesting. When you start writing about yourself, it's really interesting to find out what you've done in your life when you stop and you start writing about yourself. And then I say, after my wife had the stroke, well, she had 2 strokes, and the second one, that's when she was really messed up. And then that one there, she told me to write a book. And she knew I got to stay busy. If I don't stay busy, I get goofy. So she told me to write a book. And that's when I wrote my first book. And writing a book, and this will be down below, it's on, when you write a book, and it's free, it doesn't cost anything to write the book. And but when you write a book about yourself, that's really, because now you get to see it in front of you in a book. And and in mine, that's the only thing I ever talk about is the stuff I've done. That's the only thing I know is what I've done. I'm not the smartest guy around, but what I am is experience. So when I write, I just tell stories about the stuff that I've done. And so it's interesting when you start writing about yourself in a book form. It really opens your eyes and see what it is that you've been doing. Now, I will be writing more books, and the way I've been doing it now, but when I wrote my first few books, what I would do is just sit down and write the book, and that's I'm not a good reader, and I sure can't write. But like I say, I do tell stories, and I've got a knack for storytelling. So that I can do, and that's what I was doing. Now what I do is I'll write blogs, and blogs is free. You put them on the blogs, and you write, it's just about like a chapter in a book. You can make them short or long or whatever, and you put pictures and stuff like that. And you take, what I would do is I write a blog, and the blog is like a chapter in my book, and it's a story, my opinion, or something like that about stuff. And then after I accumulate enough of them, then I send them to the people that publish my book, and then I got another book. So that's the way I do that. You can write your books and articles and on blogs and stuff like that. And it's funny because the times, even though you got a job or whatever it is you're doing, you can still do all this stuff. I always called it another life. People didn't really realize, like I say, when I had restaurants, they thought I was just a chop suey cook. I just cook my chop suey and that's it. So many people didn't even realize that I was a traveling companion. Like I say, people would hire me to go off into weird places and training SWAT teams. I took college classes when I was 40 some years old. A lot of people don't realize that you have another life. They see you working and whatever it is that you're doing, and they think that's all you are. So that's another reason why it's good to have this other life that you can record and show what's going on. Like even now, I am known for everything except for the restaurant business. And that's where I made all my money, is in the restaurant. But like I say, people don't know of me from the restaurant. They know of me, from like I say, everything else. Like I say, the Hoi Chi, the traveling, personal safety, and I say now, and I learned like the personal safety. I learned that by doing all this other stuff. That's why I can tell stories, and then. And like, see, my first book, I'd tell a story, and at the end, I would say that's what I learned from that particular story. And so, so I still tell stories, and I give the punchline. The punchline is normally what I learned from that situation. So, but it's another life that people don't realize that you're doing, and that's why you need to write about it and have a record on it. And I say it'll be pretty neat. I say there's just a lot there. Do it. Record what you're doing and share it with others, because you're important. But it's really amazing once you start writing and recording what it is that you're doing. And it's the same thing on this YouTube, what you're watching now. Is I take the YouTube and I'll do the same thing. I'm not wasting my time on the road. I'm still telling stories and stuff like that. And what I'll do is I'll make the videos, and then put them on YouTube. And now, I'm getting weird things. And if I was to die, at least this information is out there. But also what I do is I accumulate these videos, and the ones that I get good responses on and people are really interested in, I put them in a DVD, and then I'll have DVDs. Now I'm in the process of learning how to get my DVDs sold too. I say I'll put them on Amazon or something like that, but I'm still in the process of learning on that. And because I say, my wife, after she had the stroke, she said, write, tell stories, you have a lot to share. So that's how come I did this stuff. So even in the sickness of my wife, she was still thoughtful enough, and knowing that I have to stay busy, and knowing I've done stuff, and it would be enough, it would be good stuff to share. So she's even thinking about everybody too. Because you got to remember, we came from the service industry. Like I say, between all the restaurants I've had, but also, like I say, when I was in the oil business, like I say, I serviced oil wells. I did anything I can do to help people. I've always done it. So, and I've never thought about, like I say, sharing this information until, I say, my wife, in my latter years, and then when my wife had her stroke. So, but what I'm saying is, when you start writing about yourself and making videos and this type of stuff, it will improve your life. You will be more conscious of what it is you do. I say, I've done so much, and I didn't realize what I was doing until I started making a record of what it was I was doing and sharing my past and stuff like that. And now right back, a good thing is but you have to go to my blog, but it's Crappy Vietnam War Stories. And what that is just nothing but a series of videos. And I'm just telling stories. I say, I didn't take a lot of pictures. My travels, a lot of places I go, now it's no big thing. Everybody's got cameras. But up till, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, just having a camera in your possession is enough to get you killed in a lot of places that I go. Now everybody's got cell phones, so everybody's got cameras, so even the bandits and stuff, the drug cartel, they all have cameras, so now the camera isn't that big of a deal anymore. But that's why I didn't have pictures of all the stuff that I've done. If you've noticed, in my website and a lot of stuff, a lot of the pictures I have is what other people have taken and emailed me. Or like when I was training SWAT teams, the pictures from newspapers. And I say there'd be no record of me doing SWAT teams if it wasn't for the newspaper articles that was being put out. And so now I do take more pictures, but if you do notice, the pictures I don't take pictures with my friends and stuff, because I say I don't want anybody, if I get in trouble, I don't want to draw other people into trouble, so I don't do like that. So a lot of times when I tell my stories, I don't mention names and stuff like that, because the same thing, I don't want other people to be hurt by my actions. But do think serious about making a journal. Matter of fact, a journal, how about that? I have a diary that I was going to make a diary on what was going on, and I started that in 2000, something like that. But my handwriting is so bad I can't even read my own writing, so I don't do it. The only time I use the journal now is when I go to places and I help people, and like after disasters and stuff like that, I'll have them write in the journal. I'll put the date and where I'm at, and then those people will write and they'll say, thank you for coming and help us, and they say their name and the organization and stuff like that. That's the only way I do it. But a journal's a real good way to keep track of what you're doing. But be proud of what you do. And once you understand you're doing good things for other people, that's going to be good for you. That'll strengthen you even more. And you'll be more proud of yourself, and your family will be proud of you. And it's a good thing. It really is. Like I say, if it wasn't for writing everything down, I was in my own world, busy doing things all the time. So at least now I'm glad I have something to fall back on. I'll still do things, but at least I have things to fall back on. But you need to think about it. Do something, record what you do in your life, and be proud of what you do. And they tell me my kids will be real happy, and my grandkids. One of these days, they're going to be happy that I've made a record of all this stuff. But right now, it's not. I'm just grandpa, I'm just daddy, I'm just nobody. But one of these days, it might be. But anyway, think about it. Do anything you can do to make you a better person, because life is good and it's a lot of fun. Okay, thank you. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.